For starting this activity, make sure that you have your write-in reader and that you are opened up to page 144. Where have all the frogs gone? Carlos was annoyed. He couldn't believe his mother had dragged him to one of her Save the Planet meetings. A baseball game was happening in the neighborhood. Carlos was the best center fielder on the block. Instead of making amazing catches, he was listening to some scientists talk about frogs. Why was he here? What could he do to affect frogs? He was wasting his time. Why are people having a meeting about frogs? Please pause this video and write your answer to this question. Dr. Vasquez had begun her talk about the frog population. She pointed to a bar graph on a screen. The graph looked like steps going down. Carlos could see the frogs were having a hard time surviving. Dr. Vasquez explained that frogs are delicate creatures. Even traces of pollution could kill an entire population. People all over the world were helping to count frogs. Scientists had held meetings. They taught people how to count frogs. Then, people reported directly back to the scientists so they could keep track of information. What evidence does Dr. Vasquez give to show that frogs are delicate? Please pause this video to answer the question. One of the habitats Dr. Vasquez spoke of was a large wetlands area. It was right behind the baseball field where Carlos and his friends played. Carlos couldn't believe it was so close. He knew then that he wanted to help the frogs. He took notes while the room rang with trills and croaks. Dr. Vasquez was playing frog calls on a tape recorder. Carlos left the meeting holding a frog counting kit and photos of different frogs. What happens when Carlos learns of the location of one of the habitats? Please pause the video and answer the question. The next evening was just right for frog counting. It was damp and warm with no wind. Carlos and his mother walked to the wetlands behind the baseball field. They sat near the muddy pond that Dr. Vasquez had marked on the map. They took care not to damage the land. They were very still and quiet. What details showed that the area Carlos and his mother visit is a good habitat for frogs? Please pause this video and answer the question. Suddenly, Carlos saw a streak of green. He heard a plop. It must have been a frog. Dr. Vasquez had said there were no fish in the pond. Something resembling a foghorn sounded from the middle of the pond. Bullfrog, Carlos whispered and wrote it in his log. Then Carlos heard a quacking call. The quacks came faster and faster from a log nearby. It might be a wood frog, Carlos thought. He held up a tape recorder. He hoped the microphone captured the frog's calls. How does Carlos identify the frogs? Please pause this video and answer the question. The next day, Carlos and his mother took their tape to Dr. Vasquez. She played the tape, wrote on a graph, and then made a phone call. When Dr. Vasquez got off the phone, she looked serious. Wood frogs have been disappearing faster than other species. That tape you made is a real trophy. It shows there are wood frogs in our town. Now we have even more reason to take care of that pond. You've done a good deed, Carlos. What two species of frogs does Carlos observe at the pond? Please pause the video and answer the question. Where wetlands can be found. Wetlands can be found near lakes, ponds, and rivers throughout the United States. What lives in the wetlands? Wetlands are home to many types of frogs, fish, and turtles. Wetlands are also home to water birds such as herons and gulls. Alligators may live there too. Why should wetlands be protected? Wetlands provide food and shelter for the animals that live there. By protecting wetlands, we protect those animals too. How do these facts help you understand why it is important to protect natural habitats? Please pause the video and answer the question. Look back and respond. Number 1. What details tell you that Carlos doesn't want to be at the meeting? If you need help answering this question, look on page 144. Please pause this video and answer question number 1. Question number 2. How would you describe a wood frog's habitat? If you need help answering this question, look on pages 147 and 150 for clues. Please pause the video and answer question number 2. Question number 3. What does Carlos learn about wood frogs? If you need a hint, please look on page 148 and 149. Please pause this video and answer question number 3. Question number 4. What are some of the things you could do to help preserve frogs in wetlands? If you need help with this question, you can look for clues throughout the story. Please pause this video and answer this question.